Hey guys, DMG here. Today we're going to be looking at Sonic the Hedgehog for the Sega Genesis. Now, Sonic the Hedgehog is a 2D platformer which was released for the Sega Genesis on June 23rd, 1991. Now this game was an instant hit and started the very popular Sonic the Hedgehog series, which had 4 mainline games on the Genesis. Now, I've always been a really big Nintendo fan and have almost exclusively played those games, but there are a few exceptions, and the Sonic the Hedgehog series for the Genesis is one of them. Series like Super Mario Bros. And Donkey Kong Country have always been some of my favorites, and because of that, the 2D Sonic games were right up my alley. In fact, the original 2D Sonic games for the Genesis share a lot with Nintendo's 2D platformers, specifically Mario. If you play a lot of Mario games, the Sonic games will probably feel right up your alley. When playing Sonic the Hedgehog, the goal is to get to the end of the stage while avoiding most obstacles and hazards. You collect rings, which are not just a form of currency which gets you extra lives and into special stages, but it acts as a health bar. When you're hit, you lose all your rings and have to collect more. If you get hit without rings, then you die. There are also monitors, which can give Sonic all sorts of abilities. There's ring monitors, which give Sonic 10 rings. There's shield monitors, which give him a shield. The shield basically acts as an extra hit. If Sonic gets hit with a shield, the shield goes away. And then there's invincibility, which gives Sonic invincibility for a short time. There are also speedy monitors, or I guess you call them shoe monitors. If Sonic jumps on one of these, he will be able to run fast for a short amount of time. And then there's the 1-up monitors, which if Sonic jumps on will give him a 1-up. Ooh, I like 1-ups. Most enemies can be killed by either jumping on them or rolling through them, unless, of course they have spikes or something like that on them. What separates Sonic the Hedgehog from most 2D platformers of the time is its emphasis on slopes and hills. You'll see more here than in most 2D platformers. Sonic can go pretty fast, and the hills and slopes allow for a quick acceleration, so when in hilly areas, use your surroundings wisely. This game follows Sonic as he chases Dr. Robotnik through 6 zones, freeing all the animals Dr. Robotnik has captured in that zone. If you get to the end of Act 1 or Act 2 of a zone with 50 rings, you'll be able to enter a special stage with a chance to get a Chaos Emerald. Get all 6, and you get the happy ending to the game. Now, Sonic the Hedgehog in terms of quality is right up there with some of the best 2D platformers of all time. Sega did really pull off something special here and was able to match the quality that Nintendo gave their games. Every zone of the game is different and keeps the game varied and feeling fresh as you go along. Sonic may be known for his speed, but this game is still a 2D platformer at its heart. So don't jump into this game thinking it's all about running fast and breezing through the entire game. One of the biggest criticisms I hear for this game is that its sequels put a lot more emphasis on speed, so therefore they're better games than this one. Now, I don't think this is true. From the many playthroughs I've had with this game, it's about the same quality and fun as its sequels. Later games in the series try to design levels by incorporating speed and platforming together by directly following speedy sections, like a loop or big windy sections with a platforming challenge. It could be a few platformers or it could be a lot more elaborate. Sonic the Hedgehog does this with zones such as Green Hill Zone, Spring Yard Zone, and Starlight Zone, and I would say mostly with Green Hill Zone and Starlight Zone. And this formula works really well. But zones like Marble Zone, Labyrinth Zone, and Scrap Brain Zone instead focus more on platforming and don't really have areas for you to build up speed. Now, despite what many people say, I don't think this is a bad thing. This game is a 2D platformer, and if you don't want a platform in a platforming game, what are you even playing the games for? These stages keep things fun with lots of platforming challenges and new gimmicks to keep things feeling fresh and engaging. People specifically criticize Labyrinth Zone for being slow, and after playing it many times I still don't get what the big deal is. Yes, water slows things down and adds the risk of drowning, but as long as you're careful and take your time, you'll find it is actually not a very hard zone at all. Now, Labyrinth Zone is not Green Hill Zone. Don't make it difficult by trying to rush through it. This zone is presenting new obstacles and challenges, and treating them the same way as earlier challenges won't get you anywhere. It is up to the player to learn and adapt to their surroundings. I also hear people complain a lot about the special stages being really difficult. Now, I don't really get where they're coming from because, at least when I play the games, I find the ones in this game to be the easiest. Sonic 1 is the only game where I can actually get all the Chaos Emeralds and get the happy ending. I mean, I've gotten somewhat close in like Sonic 2, Sonic 3, and Sonic and Knuckles, but I've never actually gotten there. Now, one thing I especially love about this game is its length. I can beat this game easily in an hour and 30 minutes, which is what I consider the perfect game length. If I can't beat a game in one sitting, I usually I either turn it off or just don't really pick it up in the first place. Just let it sit on the shelf a little longer. Now that's probably why a lot of the games I like are from the 8-bit and 16-bit era. It's because they're a lot easier for me to pick up, because a lot of those games just have a shorter length. I mean, yes, I love Luigi's Mansion 3 and the 15 hours it took me to beat the game, but I probably won't play it again for a while, as opposed to the first Luigi's Mansion, where, you know, I could play it like once a week. It only takes me an hour 30 minutes, which I said is like the perfect game length. Now we're going off topic here. Now, another thing I should probably talk about is the music and sound effects and general sound design. Now, you've been hearing the music this whole video, and yeah, it is fantastic. It's a really good soundtrack. Once you play the game, those songs are gonna be stuck in your head for the next few days. Now, sound effects, great. I feel like they fit perfectly. There's nothing that sticks out or anything. All in all, it's a really well-designed game in terms of, you know, actual game design and sound design. All the elements came together and made a pretty good game. But in the end, this is a very fun platformer, and any fan of Mario or Donkey Kong will find themselves at home here, having a blast. Okay, hope you enjoyed the video. TMG out. Bye bye.